but let's move on to what everybody showed up for, and that's wrestling talk. And we're going to jump right to our friends and foes segment immediately. And the foe is a very memorable opponent of yours, the late Leon White, better known as Vader. What was it like to work with the guy that big, Nate? Was Vader dangerous to work with? Was he one of the hardest hitters you've ever worked with?
One of the hardest hitters, but not dangerous at all. I mean, when you got a guy 500 or 400 pounds, jumping off the top rope on you, he was always, I always knew where he was. I felt very comfortable with him. He liked to rough you up a little bit, but if you fought back, that ended very quickly. It took me a while to learn that, but, that's that old school, once you've wrestled in Japan, because that's what they do in Japan. They did back in that time frame, like to rough you up a little bit, and you either fought back or you got eaten alive. So with Vader, especially that night in Charlotte with him, he didn't want to lose the title. You can imagine, oh God, Ric Flair is going to get the title again. You know how that played out for me during that period of time in my life. But we ended up having a good match, and I've always thought of Leon as being a really good worker. I think that some people took issue with how physical he was, but God, after wrestling Brody and Hansen and all these guys over the years, I didn't have an issue with it. On that particular night, I had to fight back a lot.
Well, imagine if Leon were still around today, what people would say about working with him. It's just a different time today. And we're going to talk about the match Rick's referring to, which is Starrcade 93, in just a moment. But Leon's strength aside, his agility for a big man was frightening. I thought in many ways that was his calling card.
Well, that along with the fact that people have to remember, All-American of Colorado, first-round pick of the Rams. So the kid's an athlete, right? You know what I mean? He was an All-American football player at UC, and then I believe he was the first-round pick of the Rams. So it was obviously a good athlete, which brings a lot to the table, which lent to the fact that I felt extremely safe, because he did a lot of stuff that could hurt you if he wasn't careful.
Now you mentioned
I'm not saying it wasn't in there, but I didn't end up in the hospital in time.